Welcome to WorkSpeak Business English for confident professionals. Have you ever had an important idea during a meeting but stayed silent because you didn't want to interrupt? Or maybe you finally spoke up only to realize everyone suddenly became quiet because your interruption sounded too direct. Both situations happen every day in real workplaces. Today, let's step into this week's project meeting. The manager is reviewing project deadlines, marketing shares campaign updates, operations reports implementation progress, sales notices an important customer issue, but says nothing. The meeting moves on. A valuable opportunity disappears. A few minutes later, another team member suddenly cuts someone off. "You're wrong." The room becomes uncomfortable. The information is useful. The interruption isn't. So here's today's question. Is interrupting always rude, or is there a professional way to do it? By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly when to interrupt, how to interrupt, and how to make your interruption improve the meeting instead of disrupting it. Today's lesson isn't about speaking more. It's about speaking at the right moment. Professional meetings aren't one-way conversations. Good teams share ideas, ask questions, clarify misunderstandings, redirect discussions, and sometimes interrupt. The key is knowing how. You'll discover 5 common interruption purposes used in real business meetings. You'll learn how to ask permission before entering a discussion, add ideas naturally, request clarification respectfully, redirect conversations professionally, and raise urgent issues without sounding aggressive. Most importantly, you'll learn that professional interruption isn't about stopping someone. It's about helping the whole team communicate better. Let's begin with the meeting. Monday morning. The weekly cross-functional project meeting has just started. The manager opens the meeting.
Good morning, everyone. Let's review our project progress and confirm next week's deadlines.
Development is almost complete. We expect implementation to finish on Thursday.
That's great. Our campaign materials will be ready by Friday.
Sales notices something important. Several major customers actually need the product on Wednesday, but sales hesitates. Nobody interrupts. The meeting continues. A few minutes later,
we should probably discuss training schedules next.
No, that's not important right now.
Silence fills the room. The conversation continues, but the atmosphere has changed. One person stayed silent. Another interrupted too directly. Neither approach helped the meeting. What would a professional do differently? Let's pause the meeting for a moment. Forget the English for now. Think about the communication. Why did the first situation fail? Because important information stayed inside one person's head. Why did the second situation feel uncomfortable? Because the speaker entered the conversation without showing respect. So maybe interrupting isn't the real problem. Maybe the problem is how we interrupt. Here's another question. When is interrupting actually helpful? Think about these situations. Someone shares incorrect information. A customer requirement is missing. You don't understand an important detail. The discussion moves away from today's agenda. Or a serious risk could affect tomorrow's deadline. In every one of those situations, interrupting helps the meeting. Professional interruption always has a business purpose. It serves the meeting, not the speaker. And successful professionals usually follow the same pattern. First, they gain permission. Then, they contribute. They protect relationships while improving communication. That's the communication principle we'll build throughout today's lesson. Now, let's organize polite interruption into 5 practical communication functions. Instead of memorizing random phrases, you'll learn when to use each one. Function 1. Asking permission. Use this when someone is already speaking and you want to enter politely. Examples. Sorry to interrupt. May I add something? Could I jump in for a moment? These phrases tell people, I respect that you're speaking. A common mistake is starting immediately with your idea. Instead, ask permission first. It makes your interruption feel collaborative instead of demanding. Function 2. Adding an idea. Once you've entered the conversation, connect your idea to the discussion. Try expressions like, I'd like to add something. Can I build on that idea? I'd also like to mention. Notice that you're joining the conversation, not changing it. Professional contributors build on previous ideas. Function 3. Clarifying information. Sometimes accuracy is more important than speed. Use expressions such as, Sorry, could I clarify something? Just to make sure I understand. Can I check one detail? You're not challenging someone. You're preventing misunderstandings before decisions are made. Function 4. Redirecting discussion. Meetings sometimes drift away from the agenda. Help the team refocus with language like, Could we return to today's topic? Can we get back to the project timeline? The goal isn't to control the meeting. It's to help everyone stay productive. Function 5. Raising an urgent issue. Occasionally, waiting isn't an option. Use soft but direct language. For example, Sorry to interrupt, but this may affect tomorrow's deadline. Before we continue, there's one urgent issue. Reserve this type of interruption for information with immediate business impact. Not every idea is urgent. Professional communicators know the difference. Notice something important. Every category begins politely. Then comes the message. Professional interruption starts with respect and ends with value. Let's return to our meeting. Listen carefully to how the conversation changes when everyone interrupts professionally.
Operations. Could you update us on implementation?
Everything is on schedule for Thursday.
Sorry to interrupt, but could I clarify something?
Of course.
Several key customers actually need delivery by Wednesday.
Thanks for pointing that out. We'll review the schedule.
The campaign materials should be ready on Friday.
May I add something?
Sure.
The training team will need those materials by Thursday afternoon.
Good point. We'll adjust our timeline. We also need to discuss next month's event.
Could we return to today's project launch first?
Yes. Let's finish today's agenda before moving on.
Sorry to interrupt, but we've just received a supplier update. If we don't approve the order today, production could be delayed.
That's important. Let's discuss that immediately.
Same meeting, same people, very different results. The interruptions didn't stop collaboration. They strengthened it. Now let's break down what made those interruptions successful. The first interruption was for clarification. Sales didn't say, "You're wrong." Instead, they said, "Sorry to interrupt, but could I clarify something?" That opening immediately showed respect. Then they shared information that helped the team make a better decision. The second interruption was about adding an idea. HR didn't replace marketing's idea. Instead, HR connected to it. That's what professionals do. They build on conversations instead of competing with them. The third interruption redirected the discussion. Notice the language, not "we're off topic," but "could we return to today's project launch first?" The goal wasn't to control the meeting. It was to help everyone stay focused. Finally, operations raised an urgent issue. Because the information could affect the deadline, interrupting immediately was appropriate. Here's the principle to remember. Don't ask, "Can I interrupt?" Ask, "Will my interruption improve this meeting?" If the answer is yes, interrupt politely. Let's practice sounding natural. Listen first. Sorry to interrupt, but could I clarify something? Notice that native speakers don't pause after every word. The sentence flows smoothly. Now, repeat after me. Sorry to interrupt. Pause. But could I clarify something? Pause. Now together. Sorry to interrupt, but could I clarify something? Excellent. Let's try another one. May I add something? Pause. Again. May I add something? Keep your voice calm and confident. Finally, could we return to today's topic? Pause. One more time. Could we return to today's topic? Remember, professional interruption sounds respectful, not apologetic or aggressive. Confidence comes from calm delivery. Now it's your turn. I'll describe a meeting situation. Decide whether you should interrupt. If yes, choose the best expression. Ready? Situation 1. Your manager says the project will launch on Friday. You know the customer requested Thursday. Should you interrupt? A good answer could be, sorry to interrupt, but could I clarify something? The customer requested Thursday. Excellent. Situation 2. Your colleague is explaining a marketing idea. You have another suggestion that supports it. Interrupt or wait? Try saying, may I add something? I think we could also promote it through LinkedIn. Very natural. Situation 3. The meeting has moved into weekend plans. Today's agenda isn't finished. What would you say? Try this. Could we return to today's agenda first? Professional, helpful, respectful. In your next English meeting, look for one genuine opportunity to interrupt politely. It could be to clarify information, add an idea, redirect the discussion, or raise an important concern. After the meeting, ask yourself, did my interruption improve communication? That's how professional confidence grows. Let's review what you've learned today. Professional interruption is not about speaking over someone. It's about helping the meeting move forward. Remember these 3 key ideas. First, interrupt only when you have a clear communication purpose. Ask yourself, will this improve the discussion? If the answer is yes, speak up. Second, choose language that matches the situation. Need to join the conversation? Ask permission. Want to contribute? Add your idea naturally. Need better understanding? Clarify. Has the meeting gone off track? Redirect it respectfully. Is there information that could immediately affect the business? Raise it as an urgent issue. Different situations require different interruption strategies. Third, professional interruption combines 4 things: politeness, good timing, collaboration, confidence. Not perfect English, not perfect grammar, just respectful communication with a clear purpose. The strongest professionals aren't always the loudest people in the room. They're the people who know when to speak and how to help others succeed. So the next time you're in an English meeting, don't stay silent because you're afraid of interrupting. Interrupt with purpose. Interrupt with respect, and help your team make better decisions. Today you learned how to enter a conversation professionally. But entering the conversation is only the beginning. What happens when you don't agree? How do experienced professionals express different opinions without creating conflict? In our next WorkSpeak lesson, Asking Better Questions, you'll learn how to share ideas, disagree respectfully, and influence decisions while maintaining strong professional relationships. Because interrupting politely helps you participate. Giving opinions diplomatically helps you lead. Before you go, I have a quick challenge for you. First, hit the like button if you learned at least one new phrase today. Then, subscribe so you never miss a new business English lesson. Next, leave a comment using one of today's expressions. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The more you practice, the faster you'll improve. Finally, click the next video on your screen. It's the perfect next step to help you speak more naturally and more confidently in business situations. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.